Hello, and my name is James Craddock, and welcome to Web 4. I know. What is Web 4? Web 3 hasn't even taken off. I've heard this before. Web 3 kind of had a false start, and a few good things came out of it. The blockchain is established. Looks like we'll be moving into cryptocurrency at some point. But the promise of decentralization never really fully materialized. And so the thought of moving into Web 4 from a Web 3 that never really actually happened seems to take a lot of people by surprise. But I'm not the only person talking about it. There are other labels that are put on it, such as Next Web and different approaches. In fact, most are defining what the new technologies will do to the web, such as AI, and including the blockchain and some things from Web 3, uh, quantum computing, etc. I take a little different approach because I see all of these technologies bringing us to a place where we are actually able to connect with the ethereal realm and map it back to our reality on a commercial level and apply those strategies to our everyday commerce. Now, this isn't for the lighthearted, but it's not that difficult either. Technology has made it possible for us to be able to do this. And as you see behind me, I'm sitting in my spice shop because we have built a spice blend brand called Chef Art around the principles that we're going to teach here so that you have a tangible means by which to see how this actually works and to participate. And there's a lot of facets to it and different layers, but we'll get to all of those. If you understand the concepts and you believe in this and you shift your business to apply this, you're going to be in a lane all your own. That's the payoff. The struggle is first getting your head around the fact that we can do some of the things that we say we can do. One of those being digitize the human persona. And after we digitized the human persona and then mapped it back into a spice blend so many times, we realized we could do that across other personas, such as a person, place, thing, idea, an agenda. We have done spice blends for weddings and a number of other type of rock bands and even inanimate objects such as a praying hands plant. We called that spice blend silken ritual. And we're not just making a spice blend and putting a label on it. We are literally capturing the essence of the personality and the persona of that entity. And then through that, we're mapping it back to the spice blends. So what happens is the spice blend itself actually starts to resonate. It does resonate with the theme. We can do this across any kind of product. And Marble Media is our parent company, and we work with companies to be able to show them how they can apply these principles to their products and their customers and how far they can take them to create entirely new strategies that their competition is nowhere near even aligning with, and they can do it in a very cost effective way because it's more of a mindset shift. There is some implementation that has to take place, but mostly it's a mindset shift that then gives you the ability to attract based on a frequency and based on frequency levels your ideal customer and match them to the products that are most ideal for them. And by doing this, you eliminate a lot of the need for trying to use fear-based advertising, interruptible advertising, etc. Because you're building a community around a shared frequency range that the products and the people, the customers or the prospects, innately resonate with. And once you do that, it's magnetic. There's absolutely nothing you can do to break that bond. In fact, if you're familiar with modern marketing techniques, that's a common statement or phrase, magnetic marketing, right? And that idea requires lots of different facilities and lots of different strategies to be employed and tools in order to create that magnetic marketing. Well, it's the same thing, except they're doing it from an external position. We're going to teach you an internal position that allows you to have that same alignment innately, and then show you how to deploy it in a fun and entertaining way that gives your customers and prospects a whole new way to interact with your brand, which brings it to life, as well as giving you the ability to analyze and microanalyze emotions along the spectrum of each piece of content that you release. And so this embodies story, this embodies technology, this embodies characters and avatars, this embodies psychology and the psychosis of how we resonate within our own being. And so it gets a little bit on the fringe, but what we've done to help you digest that fringe sort of context is, first of all, the frameworks that we're going to teach in each of our modules are going to make you realize that we truly have strategically designed the system. You'll also see that books we've written and platforms that we built are already in existence to help you kind of congeal with this new ecosystem. And finally, we built our own business around it so that we can show you, and then from that perspective, take a leap into your business and show you how it could work. Each business has a different way of applying Web4 concepts, and we have lots of tools for that implementation. And so as we move through this, don't feel like your business is different than what we might be talking about. It just might be different in how we apply what we're talking about. So Web 4, is it coming? No, it's already here. This is decades in development, and technology has finally caught up with our doctrine and our strategies around Web 4. And now we're able to build it with you and teach it and give you ideas. If nothing else, we're going to teach you how to think in an ethereal way, a way that gives you leverage against AI. Artificial intelligence is outpacing human thought. I mean, just on a basic level, that's the idea and why it works, right? But what's happening is a lot of people are finding themselves in a groove where they're just amplifying the same sort of approaches that they've always used. And all that could possibly do is either lead them into a corner faster, or as AI, artificial intelligence, starts to take over different jobs and different or eliminate them completely because of the new approaches available, it leaves people in the lurch. You haven't heard that term in a while, right? It leaves people wondering, what am I going to do? How am I going to use this in my own business? And what we are going to do is show you through an approach with Web 4, you can shift your business, create a whole new paradigm, build a community and an ecosystem around these strategies. And that doesn't just protect you from the shift of in the emergence of all this new tech, but it actually gives you leverage and an advantage. Now you say, how long will that advantage last? Well, the truth is there's room here for everybody, because we're building a scaffolding into the ethereal realm that leaves absolutely, well, it has everything in it. It's boundless possibility. And so every single person that enters the market and utilizes these strategies gets to set up their own demographic, and they get to use it to literally connect in the ethereal realm and pull back abundance that starts to sound like new age gibber. But when we show it to you in a very practical way and then demonstrate it with a spice blend business, and the only reason we did a spice blend business is because it's so versatile, so easy to display the principles with, and it's wonderful. These blends are innumerous. You can never have an end to the type of flavors that you can create in spice blends with this approach. And so it really is. And not only that, you'll find out it brings the digital into the physical space. It brings the ethereal into the physical space. We call it phygital. And it also transcends time, because we can create characters with our blends that then enter into scenes and story and plot lines for content that goes out across the web and has its own effect when these characters start to resonate with prospects and customers and fans and followers. And so there are a lot of caveats in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take you through the process that all of this materialized through. This materialized over decades, and through me. My character is called the Oracle. I call him the Oracle of 4D Story, and I have an entire ecosystem of teaching this Web 4 in a school that's called Telea, and you'll learn more about that later. But that's my fictional representation. And what Web 4 ultimately is instead of it being a decentralized network in terms of hardware and software, it's decentralized in terms of consciousness. It's decentralized in terms of tangibility. And because you can create a true connection between the intangible and the tangible with Web 4 principles and strategies, you end up with the ability to represent yourself as in an avatar, which is not anything new in the Web 2 space of digital avatars. However, you can do that with complete anonymity. Nobody knows that you're tied to this avatar, yet this avatar can still 100% represent an individual or a brand or a product or a theme and have the same impact across the web as an actual person. The value there is that data does not need to be collected, nor can it be collected on a digital avatar. Data does not need to be collected in order for that avatar to have impact. And as I see and you see digital avatars, which are created with AI and CGI and usually teams of people, these avatars, they are getting their persona from the team that is writing them. But what we're doing is offering the ability to instill a persona, the very seed of a persona, in a character that then grows from there and then reacts to the world around it in alignment with their persona. And that's where story happens. When characters engage one another or engage the context that they're in, the world that they're in, when they engage that world, story comes out of it. But you can't do that with a flat two-dimensional character. You have to have a persona and a profile behind that persona that gives the character its will and its spirit and its personality and its reasoning for making decisions the way it does. When you do that and that character engages with the real world, you're now able to see the kind of people that align with that character. And because you know that character's persona at a very specific level, you're able to easily distill the type of customer that is engaging with your character. And now you just supply your character with the products and the services that it would use. And before you know it, your customers are in that same alignment using those same products. There are a lot more strategies beyond this, but we're going to step you through everything that brought us to this point so that you get a sense that this isn't just a flash in the pan and it's not just pulled out of left field. It's real, it's tangible, and it's implementable. We'll start with teaching you how creative thinking works. The iGestalt creative thinking strategy is the fundamental way to understand what happens inside this human experience when you have a creative thought, where it comes from, how it gets channeled into you, and how it gets materialized in the world. We will step through the next phase, which was story integrated marketing, where we realized we could apply these iGestalt principles of creative thinking And from that, we created kinetic avatars, which is the way that we embodied these principles into a profile so that they could be inserted into a character, which led to personaware and ethereal intelligence and a whole slew of other things around those concepts and strategies to where we are now with implementation. And the implementation can be applied and adopted across a number of disciplines, a number of markets, brands, products, etc. So I encourage you to follow us. And if you align with one of the particular applications that we will put out and continue to grow more applications on this channel, then we look forward to potentially meeting you one-on-one and working with a brand strategy that works for you. But until then, let this open up your mind. Let this change the way you view things. When it comes to creative thinking, it's very much a controlled process and things that you can do to have breakthroughs in any area that you apply it. And from there, understanding the ethereal principles of how personaware works across the model that we have built called the 7 arenas of human experience, and to then further understand that the future of Web4 and the future of products are going to be in these frameworks that tap into this infrastructure. So you're going to learn the infrastructure. I'll teach you how to build your own frameworks. And then when you do and apply it to this infrastructure, you'll realize that you can put this all over your life, your business, your community, etc., and have massive impact with no friction, creating a new lane for yourself. And you will not only avoid your competitors, but you'll actually be giving them help, but not taking it from yourself. And that's an interesting place to be, because now you get to serve innately without having to add that service level to what you're doing, but rather what you're doing just serves along with, and you grow community, you grow bonds, you create relationships, and you generate revenue, right? Always got to get back to that. So join us. Look forward to it. Web4 strategies here, Web4 doctrine being established on this channel. It's an exciting time, and I will be doing lots of lives and things that will answer your questions. We have an entire platform, membership site, chat bots, ways that we can make sure you are very well taken care of. All right. Talk soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.